Welcome back to another YouTube video. So I'm at one of my favourite fisheries, which is Spring Cottage Fishery in Moira, South Derbyshire. So I've gone and drawn peg 1, which is on Chestnut Pool. This pool is absolutely rammed with carp. There's loads of carp in here, but they are really difficult and they can be tricky to catch. Plenty of skimmers to go after as well. So I've gone and, like I say, gone and drawn peg 1. It's classed as one of the decent pegs on here. It looks like a little bit of maintenance has gone on recently and got a little bit of grass in front of me, but that won't cause a problem and I'll be able to scoop some of that out. So this is my peg. I've got a 13 metre maggot line I'm going to fish right in front of me, and I'm going to be fishing a bomb as well a little bit further out. I've got these lily pads on my right, but the carp don't always sit in there, so I don't want to spend too long on those, but I will give it a go. I've got a peg on my right hand side, so I'm going to fish the margin there. This left hand margin here, there has been some reeds there, so I know they've been taken out, so I know there's a few snags, so I won't really be fishing that, but if I have to and I see any carp go in, I will go on that margin line. So we've had the all in, so I decided to start off with 3 discs of bread on a hair rig and just really dobbing it around, just throwing it around, just seeing if I can pick off some carp. Because of this particular pool, the shape of it, you can't really throw out too far because I've got an angle on my right. I didn't, if I went out any further, I'd have been in his swim. And the same if I'd gone on my left, I'd have been in another swim of another angler. So as you can see, I just threw that out, and within probably about 30 seconds, the tip went round. It's only a little quiver of the tip, but it went round and I had a little fish on, and it was a tench. Small tench on 3 discs. It's not what I was after. I was after a carp, but you know, at the end of the day, it's this pool. It's just loaded with everything. So you actually got to fish for whatever's going by. So.
Hey guys, hopefully you're enjoying these free videos. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, please do go and subscribe to the channel. Click the subscribe button. It's free and it's easy and it only takes about 2 seconds. It's a massive help, more than you know. Also, don't forget to drop the video a like, give it a thumbs up, and at the end of the video, if you can spare 30 seconds, please do go and leave a comment. Just let me know what you like about the video. Let me know what techniques you use. But thank you for watching. Now let's get back to the main video.
We get another 3 discs on. I wasn't actually ready for my next sort of baiting up. I normally have these ready to go, and so just getting it out there, punched out 3 discs, and I'm just going to hair rig them on. So like I say, I had that one bite really quick, but I fished this line for about 40 minutes. I didn't get any more indications. I did get a line bite, but I only had 1 line bite, no other indications, no takes. So I'm now going to show you my 13 metre pole line where I was fishing maggots and 2mm micros, and I was catching a few skimmers. So I'm going to jump to that. So as you see, look, just casting around, dobbing around, but like I say, nothing else produced on this line. So like I say, I gave that bomb line 40 minutes. I only had that 1 bite, that small tench, and so I'm now just showing you the 13 metre line. I say 13 metre, I was actually fishing 11 metres, but I had that extra section on the back in case I wanted to push out to 13 metres. So there we go. Look, it wasn't long, probably about, I don't know, a few minutes. I'd already potted in a small nugget of ground bait, a few micros with it, and a few maggots as loose offerings, and we just literally got a bite within probably about a minute, 2 minutes, and got our first skimmer. So I was quite happy with that. I just thought, well, you know, if I can keep catching them at that size, or even, you know, if I can get some of the bigger ones, then even better. So back out again, 2 maggots on the hook, and just shipping out, like I say, I was shipping out to 13 metres and then pulling it back to 11, just because I had a bit of a slope there. I just wanted to make sure I had that curve in the line, and I was fishing literally, like I say, on the slope as well. So as you can see, look, just pulling it back to about 11 metres. And again, it was absolutely freezing on this day. It was probably one of the coldest days I've had so far. I didn't have my winter boots on. I just had my summer sort of boots on, so my feet were freezing. I've got a hoodie on. I've got my outer jacket as well, so I've got 2 hoods up. Got a cap on. Oh, it was a cold day, really was. I think we had northerly wind, and I was in the face of it. It doesn't look really windy there. It did pick up throughout the day on and off, but it was really cold, and I think that was affecting my swim. It wasn't helping. If you can look at the far end of the pool, it was a lot calmer, and they were definitely catching up in that corner. What the actual winner of the match came from that far end on the left hand side. fishing a completely different technique to everybody else. The actual winner on the day was just fishing a waggler and just catapulting a few maggots over the top. Ended up catching quite a few carp and some decent roach. It was a really difficult day for everybody else, but this is what I was doing, fishing this skimmer line, so just potting in there some ground bait and some loose offerings again. And I just kept topping this up probably about every 10 minutes or as I needed to. And again, 2 maggots on the hook and just shipping out to and fishing at 11 metres. If I swapped to a single maggot, I noticed I struggled to then get the bites. It was always on 2 maggots. Occasionally I'd get a bite on a single maggot, but it was always seemed to be 2 maggots, and I would get a bite. And also I was really holding out for the carp to come in as well, so I really just wanted that bit more of a standout bait. But again, back out again, and it didn't take long, back into another skimmer. My elastic was probably a little bit too heavy for these. I didn't actually bump any off all day, so I say too heavy, but I didn't bump any skimmers off. I had a 12 elastic on, a little bit too heavy, but if those carp rock up, you want to be able to get them out, and there are some there's a lot of carp in here around that sort of £5-6 pound mark. There's some doubles as well, so you want to be able to get them out. So even though I was catching skimmers, I was probably more geared up for hopefully hitting some bigger fish. But again, another 2 maggots on the hook, and we ship out again. So like I say, it ended up being quite a difficult day, so I'm just going to show you this line just a little bit longer. We ended up catching a few more skimmers on this line. So back out again, just let it settle. Probably about another couple of minutes went by, and I get another bite, and that's what happened. I'd either sometimes miss the bite, and or I'd certainly hook up most of the fish I had. We'll bring that in, and we just got it again. Another small skimmer, and this was the stamp of the fish on this line. That was around that sort of 2-3 ounce skimmers. I think I might have had one probably just a little bit bigger, but most of them all around this size. So get the hook out, and we've got another one in the net. So I stayed on that skimmer line. It's probably about 3 hours into the match now, but unfortunately no carp produced, and I wasn't getting any bigger skimmers, so I felt like I needed to do something. I was still getting bites on that skimmer line, so I sort of didn't really want to come off it, but at the same time I needed carp. Other people were catching carp, like I say, in the top end of the lake. I'd already know that there was one guy fishing a waggler. He'd already probably caught about 5 or 6 carp already, so if I was just going to even sort of get close to 3rd or 2nd, I needed a few carp. So I decided to come off the skimmer line, even though I was getting bites, had feeding fish. I decided just to come on that margin. So I just potted in some ground bait and some sweet corn and some dead reds, and I decided then just come on it and fish sweet corn over the top. And I did keep swapping between sweet corn and maggots, but unfortunately nothing produced. In fact, I don't believe anyone on this day caught a carp in the margin, which is very unusual because they do produce in the margin and you can get some decent weight, but no carp came off the margin that I'm aware of, and I certainly didn't get one. So just wanted to quickly show you guys this margin swim, but I'm going to now go back onto my skimmer line and catch a few skimmers in the last part of the match. So I spent about an hour too long on that margin. There was no indications, nothing produced. Like I say, I didn't see any other angler catching the margin, which is very unusual on this pool. Like I say, there's loads of carp and they do normally come in, but it just didn't on the day. Lots of rain recently. We've got a northerly wind, I believe it was. Very, very cold on the day, blowing right into this peg. All the carp seem to be coming at the top end, and certainly on the left-hand side where it was just a little bit calmer. Just catching another skimmer there. So I had feeding fish on this line, and now I look back at this video and that's where I should have stayed all day, but that's the way it went. I ended up catching around 25-26 of these small skimmers, putting around, I think it was £4.10 on the scales. Not good enough on the day, but I had plenty of bites and I enjoyed my day. Guys, if you haven't already, hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and like I say, if you haven't already, please do go and subscribe to my channel. It's free and it's easy, and it only takes 2 seconds. Don't forget to drop the video a like, and if you can spare 10 seconds at the end, please do leave a comment. Let me know how your weekend, how your matches are going at the moment, as the weather has now changed. But there we go, look, into another skimmer. But guys, I'm going to leave it there. Hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, tight lines, and I'll see you on the next one.